All right, we are back. This is the one and only OSB Sports Podcast, and can it get any better than this guy's Super Bowl preview today? And I'm joined by my two co-hosts who have been with me all year long, through it all the football season.
Through the thick and the thin.
That's it. The man, Teddy Brooks, CEO of Sports Profits. What's up, Teddy?
Glad to be back. Put a nice little feather on the cap of our football season.
You're still wearing that goat hat, huh?
I'm wearing the goat hat. I'm not
All
taking
right.
it off, even though you've been kicking my ass lately. It's
all
okay.
right.
But I would give it to you. But, guys,
I can't.
look at this hair. I mean,
No.
you can't put a hat on top of this.
No, can't do it. Can't do it. I don't wear hats. And here
I
he
wouldn't
is,
either if I had that.
the one and only, the big kahuna of OSB Sports, Tommy D.
Hey, this show should be called the Big Kahuna. This is the last hurrah.
Should be called the last hurrah, maybe.
This
The
is
last of the
This
Mohicans.
is the last of the Mohegans, guys. After this, we ain't seeing football till September.
That's all right. We'll have a lot to talk about, though,
course we
between
will.
now
Of
and then.
course we
So
do.
that's the
We
beauty
will.
Yeah,
of it.
and guys, little teaser. We haven't ironed out the details yet, but we're probably going to be doing multiple shows a week moving forward. So if you're watching this, get ready to watch a little bit more, and it'll be a little bit shorter, so you won't have to see our faces for as long of a period of time. We know your attention span isn't that long.
You know, good idea, guys. Also, we are going to be expanding possibly to a couple more shows per week. So we're going to, be here for you, giving you as much good advice and information and talking about things in the sports world. If you guys have any interest, give us a DM. You could DM Teddy, you could DM me, you could DM Tommy, and let us know some suggestions that you think you'd like from us for future shows. We'd love to hear it.
Oh, I know what their suggestions are going to be.
More picks?
More picks.
Oh man, man.
More parlays.
Well, I'll tell you
I'll
what.
tell you, all I've been hearing lately is you give out a pick and they go, well, what's the odds? What's the odds? You put 500, you'll win 500. No, I need odds.
Right.
Oh, they want more than one bet. They don't want a straight bet.
You bet what you get. You get what you bet. That's what I tell people. That's my new line when I'm talking to clients. You get what you bet. I have a funny story from last night. Well, not funny, but my play was Nevada plus the points, and I have a new player. He's from out of state, but he's in Florida on vacation for a month. I've been having a lot of players in Florida getting locked out of their Hard Rock account for no reason.
Are they residents?
No, he's not a resident.
Okay, maybe.
But I have had residents. I have a police officer in Jacksonville. He's a client of mine. He went to put a deposit in, locked his account up. He already had money in. They froze that. He had to call them. They released it, but it's a little pain in the butt, so they got to get that straightened out.
Have you guys heard anything before we get into the Super Bowl? Because we got a lot to talk about, guys. So, obviously just grab your pens and papers, as I'm sure there's going to be a lot of information coming your way soon. Have you heard any, from the first couple of months with the Hard Rock, any vibes on it, like how people are enjoying the app?
I hear players like the app.
Okay.
All right. I have heard of people getting shut off. If you're winning a lot, they will limit you or shut you off.
Totally shut you off or
Shut
cut
you down.
your limits?
No, they'll either one.
Really?
Yeah.
Or they'll cut your limits on a specific type of play.
Yeah.
like college
I mean,
basketball.
in general, the regulated books just want the weekend warrior. They're not looking for anyone that might have the
No
edge.
shops like you, Tommy?
They don't want shops. I know many people that have been shut down. DraftKings, FanDuel, even the guy that runs DraftKings. He said we want recreational bettors.
We're gonna dive into this more next week. I'm gonna talk to you guys about this. But there's a lot going on with that, and there's a lot of hypocrisy with these legal books, with these regulated books.
100%.
We'll get into that, but it's gonna change. I think it's gonna get better. Things are gonna change. But one thing, just talking about the Super Bowl, there's certain states where you can bet the coin toss, and then there's certain states where you
What about the
can't-
anthem?
where you can't bet the coin toss. So all that stuff,
All
all
that
that
stuff.
extra stuff, some states aren't letting you bet it. Some states are letting you bet it. So
Is that because of Wayne Gretzky's wife? Remember the whole fiasco with the $500,000 flip of the coin?
Wayne
And then they had an issue with her?
Gretzky has a famous family. His wife did that. His
Right.
daughter dates Dustin Johnson.
Married to, isn't he?
Married to Dustin Johnson and has kids with.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said dates.
Well,
Married.
60 Minutes had a piece last Sunday about this regulated market.
That's what I want to get into
and it
next
was not
week.
it was not a kind piece, man. They were really ripping the books apart, and where they are saying, and I've heard this also, this is eventually going to go federal, because the feds are going to say, wait a second, these states have too much power. They're going to want to get in. And then that's going to change the whole landscape.
And here's why I don't want to get political on it, but here's why it won't happen. According to
no politics.
According to the Constitution, it is a state responsibility. It's kind of like the abortion thing. When they changed the abortion rule, what they said was this is up to the states, not the U.S. government. So I think that's where it's like the lottery, Tommy. It's like the lottery. Every state has different. Like some states don't have scratch-off tickets.
100%.
So that it's always going to be with the states.
Here's what I want to ask. I got to ask one question before we dig into the Super Bowl. Where's the big Super Bowl party for Teddy Brooks this year?
No Super Bowl party. I usually spend it with my father. Actually, I usually hang out with him.
Quiet
time, family time. Yeah, I used to do the big Super Bowl parties. I'll do squares with my group chat. I have a group chat with a lot of friends. I'll do squares.
All right.
But no big Super Bowl party. I'm going to have a lot of money on the line. You guys know me. I don't like to bet the big games, but I'm going to throw some nice money at this Super Bowl.
Sprinkle a lot of props.
A lot of different stuff.
I'm not going to mention names. I got kicked out of a Super Bowl party last year, and it's actually true.
We've been hearing about this for a whole year already.
Got kicked out of a Super Bowl party.
Yeah, not you.
Well, I was there. I mean, yes, it was me.
Was it in Vegas?
No, it was right here in South Florida.
Yeah, we can't mention the undisclosed location.
Were you drinking too much?
It had nothing to do with
I don't
alcohol.
think he entered even.
It was the guest I brought. She had a little dog that fits in her handbag. You wouldn't know this
Maybe
dog.
they wanted the favorite. They didn't want the dog.
You wouldn't even know this dog is present. And the owner of the house said, hey, no dogs. I'm sorry. Yep. And would not let us enter.
Yeah. Listen, you probably got kicked out of better places than that, I'm sure.
I actually ended up watching at a bar at a restaurant. We had a great time.
There you go. Well, listen, it's about this Super Bowl. It's about Super Bowl 58.
I think this should be called the Swift Bowl, because you see all this crap that they're pouring on right now with this Taylor Swift flying from Tokyo. They say she's going to get there 3 hours before.
Yeah, they gave it a space to get out right away.
Yeah, I mean, I got some ridiculous props that we can go over, but I mean, they're just building this thing up, and there's props. Who's she going to be sitting next to? Is she wearing red lipstick or another color lipstick?
No.
I mean, have you ever heard of this stuff before?
Yeah, listen.
Well, we should bring Edgar back, because he loved talking about Taylor Swift.
Hey, he might have knew something, man.
He was on to something.
He was a man ahead of it. What's the saying? He was ahead of his time.
I think he's on the trip with her overseas, coming back.
Yeah.
He might be on the plane.
She's flying from Tokyo to get to Vegas. I hope she's not flying Spirit.
I bet you there's a prop what time she gets to the stadium.
Yeah, if she's flying Spirit, she's not going to make it.
No, she's not flying with Spirit. Don't worry about her.
I've been screwed over too many times with that, but that's another story.
No, she's going the best way to go. Her own plane.
Yeah.
But anyways, listen, we got a huge game. Mr. Irrelevant against probably, I guess you could call him the GOAT right now of the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, this guy, like I've been telling you the last couple of weeks, till you knock the king off, he's going to be the king. But this is going to be a great Super Bowl. I've been looking at it from a lot of angles. I don't know what you guys have been putting a lot of time in on this game. I'm sure you've been doing the same thing. I think it's going to be an outstanding game. I got to be honest with you. I really do.
I do as well. I have a team that I'm rooting for.
Of course.
I'm rooting probably for whoever most of America is rooting for, the 49ers. I'm a big anti-media guy. Like the mainstream media, I am not a fan of those people, and they have been hating on Brock Purdy all year long. I was watching somebody talking about it. These guys, if Brock Purdy does it, their heads are going to explode. I
think it would be great for the game, though. If you think about it, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick in the draft. First year, he gets him to the playoffs, gets injured, unfortunately. Second year, gets him to the big dance all the way to the end. It's a great story, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's one. I'll throw it out there. That's one of my picks. I'm picking. Mahomes is the lower money pick. He's plus 135 to win the MVP. Purdy's plus 235. I'm taking Brock Purdy. There's value there. If the 49ers win this game, the chances are Brock Purdy's going to get that trophy. I mean, unless McCaffrey has an insane game.
Well, he is insane.
He is insane. I was watching.
He's the workload.
I was watching a thing about him, and he was talking on a podcast about how his dad used to come on Fridays, on game day, Friday Night Lights, pull him out of school middle of the day, take him to get an IV so he wouldn't cramp. He said he cramped up one time, and Ed McCaffrey freaked out and said, "You are never going to cramp again. I'm going to take you out of school every game day to go get an IV."
Father wasn't a bad player either. He was pretty clutch receiver in his day.
For Elway.
Yeah.
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 One other thing I just want to throw out quickly. All year we've been talking about shop numbers, and Teddy's big on that. I found a prop, 3 different books. Check this out. Super Bowl to go into OT. All right? Bet365 plus 900, yes. FanDuel plus 1,100. DK, DraftKings plus 1,200. But the no.
It's only been once.
But check this out. No, minus 1,800, Bet365. FanDuel minus 2,000, DraftKings minus 3,000. So we're talking about a spread here on the no. Tremendous. Imagine some guys betting at DraftKings minus 3,000.
You want to go against something that's only been once in 50.
But I'm just saying, we're talking about major spread there.
That's a big difference. So you have to lay twice as much to make the same amount on DraftKings as you do.
Now, these lines could have changed. This was as of last night, but minus 3,000, Bet365 has it minus 1,800.
I want to start with Teddy. There's so many props. Obviously, we don't have all the time, and we have to be here for 3 days to go over all these props. But I'd like you to come up with a couple of the real key props you've been looking at and let the viewers get a little taste of some of your prop action.
So it's hard for me to pronounce this player's name, but
which one?
He's a tight end. Can't pronounce his name.
Okay.
But I think let me start with my favorite prop. My favorite prop is Brock Purdy MVP. Now, is that really a prop? I guess it is, right? That prop to me, it's almost a shoe-in. But like you said,
well, you know that means San Francisco in your mind is going to win because they're not going to give him to it if he loses.
Right.
Especially over Mahomes.
They have to win the game, right? So his name is Kyle Juszczyk.
Okay.
I want Kyle Juszczyk over 4.5 yards.
Rushing or receiving?
Receiving. He's a tight end, and he has played.
That's not many odds.
4.5 yards.
One catch.
I can do that.
Right. There might be a prop on that.
You got Tommy D there.
Well, let me tell you something.
Tommy D rushing yards.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. So yeah, I do think. I mean, listen, the money's all over KC.
Okay.
And the line really hasn't moved. I think the odds makers think that the 49ers are going to win. I don't mean to get ahead of myself with the actual game pick.
Let's stick with the props.
But I think the 49ers are going to win this game. Right, that's just what I think. I'm going to keep it there.
What about the props?
My favorite prop is
not to push you. If you're not ready, I could go to
No,
Tommy.
my favorite prop is the Brock Purdy to win the MVP.
Okay.
The last 4 times that the 49ers have faced the Chiefs, the last 4 games that Kyle Juszczyk has been in, he's been targeted 3 times, 4 times, 3 times, and 3 times.
Okay.
All he needs to do is catch one of those targets. If he's targeted 3 or 4 times in this game, he just needs to catch one of those balls.
What's the odds?
Minus 120 on MGM.
Okay.
That's my second favorite prop. Those are my 2 favorite props. And I also like Isaiah Pacheco. He killed it last Super Bowl. I think he's going to kill it. He's been killing it. He's going to kill it again.
Both playoff games he's been strong. All right. Big Kahuna, come on now. Look at all those notes, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if you can see the table here, but there's no room. There's no room for us to breathe here with all the notes that he's made on the Super Bowl.
This is my grocery list.
If you did your homework,
I'm going shopping after this.
I hope all your teachers from back in the day are watching this because they would say, wow.
I'm thinking a little outside the box here. This is an interesting prop. Now, obviously, this is the last game of the year, so these teams are going to go for it. I mean,
let's give stuff that you guys really like.
Well, this is what I really like. And tell me if this makes sense. both teams get a fourth down conversion. All right. I'm taking plus 290. Yes.
Both teams or one team?
Both teams have to get a fourth down conversion.
Yeah, that's an interesting play.
It's an interesting play because, hey, it's like
going for
like Dan Campbell theory. What did they got to lose at this point? And it's the last game.
Well,
so I like that plus 290. Both teams get it somewhere during the game.
All right.
Here's another interesting prop. Mahomes over 4.5 rushing attempts. He's ran the ball 6 times against the Ravens and the Bills. I don't know about yards, but attempts over 4.5.
What's the odds?
That's a good question. I did not put the odds on, but over 4.5 rushing attempts, Mahomes.
Okay.
So those two, I got more, but
Go ahead. Look, keep going.
All right. Listen, Purdy's been inconsistent. All right. He threw 17 off-target passes, during the playoffs. Over half interception. I think this dude throws an interception in this game.
Okay.
All right. So it's over 0.5 interceptions. All right.
Is there odds on that, or you don't?
There's odds. It's my bad that of course, there's odds.
I know you had a lot of stuff going on.
I'll tell it to you. Brock Purdy over a half an interception, minus 120.
What about Mahomes on that same thing?
Minus 115 both ways.
Yeah. Wow.
Mahomes has not thrown an interception all playoffs.
I like him to throw one in this game.
I like that.
I like that. I think Mahomes throws an interception somehow, whether it's on his or it's a deflected.
What do you think of Purdy? You think he could throw one also?
I mean, of course. I mean, he
was throwing the ball all over the field on those 2 games.
This kid, you know what? This kid to me is.
Let me tell you
he's
something.
Solid.
This is the thing with Purdy. He gets so much hate from the media. He's the most accurate passer this year, and he has the highest pass efficiency.
More than Joe Montana's.
Yeah, his pass efficiency number is record-setting for his team.
Right. Was it like 150? I don't know.
Very high. I don't know the number, but very high. And one more throw. I'm going to throw one back out there. Christian McCaffrey, 2 or more touchdowns, plus 225. Wow. I want to sprinkle a little plus. I don't like everything to be minus 130.
Right.
Christian McCaffrey, if I'm going to take a plus prop, that's my plus prop.
All right.
That's nice odds.
I got to give him more. Look at all this.
I got another one. No, but I'm thinking outside the
right there, all right, ladies and gentlemen. You see all that?
Let's talk.
Thanks, Ben, for showing that. We appreciate that. Look at that. I mean, I'm telling you, that's like doing like a duck. He should be at the University of Alabama hanging out with some people I know.
I don't think they'd let me in the state, but that's another story. No.
You got too many stories, man. What's wrong with you? You're getting thrown out of Super Bowl parties.
And thrown out of Alabama. Not even the whole state.
Guys, what do we have? We have America's Most Wanted here, I think.
No dogs allowed in Alabama.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
There you go. No, but seriously, longest field goal. Now, this guy, Moody, the kicker for San Fran, this guy cannot kick over a 45-yard field goal. I'm going with KC. It's minus 115 to have the longest field goal in that game.
Butker's one of the best kickers in the game.
So I think that's a solid prop, man.
If they stop him to kick field goals, that's going to be the key in that game.
These are a little outside.
These teams can put points up.
It's a cheap number, minus 115.
I have a question.
You're going to have to give a rundown before we get off on all this.
Have you guys heard about this Rob Gronkowski kick thing?
What is it, a 40-yard field goal?
I think so, 40-yard.
He missed it last year. What
are the odds on that? I haven't been able to find it.
I don't know, but he swears he's getting it this year, but he swore he was getting it last year.
Yeah.
But he's a character. You gotta love a guy like that. He's like a big kid. He always has been. I knew people in the New England organization, I'm not going to mention any, but they told me he was like the biggest kid all the time. It's all about having fun. That was what he was all about.
Class clown kind of type of guy.
Not even a class clown. Just, love to just have fun and, be a wild dude. And he's still doing it. So thumbs up to him. But what was your question? I'm sorry, Ted.
No, that was my question. If there was an odds on.
There's definitely odds on that. I just don't know what they are.
I can't find them.
There's so many props guys out there. So many. There's thousands of them. I have one I like. I like Pacheco on rushing yards to go over the number. I think it was about 68.
Yeah, I threw that one out there earlier.
I think Pacheco's. He's been so red hot. He's been durable. He's not fumbling, and he's finding ways to get through the holes. I think he's definitely going on. I like that play on Pacheco going over about 67
that was
yards.
highly touted on VSiN the other night. They were talking about
And
that.
I like Kittle, over 3.5 receptions, George Kittle. I think he's going to find a way to get the ball. Purdy's going to find a way to get the ball to him. And I see over 3.5 receptions for Kittle.
And the thing with Pacheco, and I love that, that's probably my second or third favorite prop because he proved that he could do it in the limelight
He's been
before.
doing it. He's been doing it.
But I'm saying in the Super Bowl, he did it.
Yeah.
Before the Super Bowl last year, I really didn't know much about this kid. And that was kind of his coming out party. So, and he did it against a strong
He did it
Philadelphia
against Baltimore.
defense.
He did it against Buffalo. I mean, he's doing it. He's in a groove right now, and I'm sure Mahomes is no dummy. He's going to go to the hot hand. He knows how to manage the game, Mahomes, between the running, mixing it up with the passing game he has. There's so many weapons, guys. Think about the weapons on both these teams. They got 4, 5, 6 weapons on each side between KC and San Fran. Plus, they both have great defenses, if you think about it. If the defenses show up, it could be a very interesting day. Very interesting day.
That's my next point there. You're right there.
Go right ahead.
Personally, I think it's going to be a defensive battle versus an offensive battle, and that leads me into the total. San Fran struggled to put up points in the first half against the Lions. If that trend continues and Chiefs really focus on defense, it's going to become more of a running game, which will eat up the clock, less opportunities for conversion. So my strongest play on this game is not the game. It's under 47.5. I just see this being a lower scoring game. Unlike,
don't forget also, the Chiefs only scored 3 points in the second half
unlike
of the whole game against Baltimore.
Last year it was a shootout. I see this being a little more of a controlled defensive game. Plus the Chiefs' defensive coach is amazing. This guy.
Yeah.
I'm going under 47.5. That's my strongest bet on this game.
Best bet?
If I had a side, I'd buy it up to 3.5 and take the Chiefs. But I like the under.
How are you gonna buy it up 2 points?
No, it's 2.5. The number's 2.5 now.
Is it?
2.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's moved.
2.5.
You know what? I don't know. With all the pumping of everyone saying Kansas City, the line keeps going higher. It's very interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
Very
I said that
interesting.
earlier, man. Listen, these odds makers, guys, you got to realize something.
Well, they're looking to get money,
They're looking to get money both ways, but typically when public money comes in heavy,
But it did open at 2.5, right?
opened
Originally,
to 2
and then it went down to
1.5. It went down to 1.5. Now it's wiggling back around to.
Could drop again.
It could drop again, but listen, these odds makers, in my opinion, the kind of money that's coming in on KC and the kind of hype behind KC, the fact that it's not 1 or even at this point, makes me like San Fran. I mean, you got to sometimes look at what the odds makers like and say, hey, this is something that I like also. Real quick, funny, take a little joke. Just going to throw a little joke in there real quick. So, unfortunately, Pat Mahomes' dad got arrested for DUI.
Yeah.
He was celebrating too early.
Well, the funny joke I read was that he'd rather watch the game from a jail cell than next to Taylor Swift.
Oh, nice. I like that one. Good one. Ben, what'd you think of that? You all right with that, Ben?
I like that one.
You got a side out of Teddy today. There you go, man. I love
Well,
it.
they got odds. Who's going to be seen sitting next to Taylor Swift?
Well, we know who's going to be sitting next
Well, it's
Patrick Mahomes'
Well, Brittany
wife.
Mahomes is plus 200. Then you got Donna Kelsey.
And her entourage.
And you got,
Her
check this
entourage.
one. I don't know where they came. Mike Tyson, 33-1. Why don't you just throw in Mickey Mouse?
That's it. That's a low odd. Mike
33
Tyson, I
to-
would think, would be hundreds to 1.
Where does he even fit in? I mean,
Exactly. That's a low odds.
Yeah.
Here's another novelty prop. So this is an interesting one because the novelty prop is, and my numbers might be off a little
And they're
bit.
going to limit you on this stuff. You're not going to be able to bet.
This is just for fun.
Well,
to-
on the bigger props, you can pound it, but not on these like crazy ones.
Yeah, on over-under yardage, who's going to
Right.
win the
Yeah,
MVP.
you could
But
play
these
good money.
novelty props, you can't do it. So here's a funny one. Is the winner of the MVP going to say Taylor Swift's name in his acceptance speech? Now listen, that's plus 1,200. Travis Kelce to win the MVP is plus 1,700. So you would think if
He
anyone's
won't even say it if he won it.
well, the fact that the odds are higher for him to win the MVP than there are for that
Right.
for them to say her name, it's kind of weird.
No one's going to say her name.
I actually heard something where they said that he might propose to her.
Yeah.
There's
In the
odds.
middle.
There's
Did you
odds.
hear about that?
There's an odds right there.
Well,
That's an odds right there, right in the middle
there's
of the field.
There's a deeper conspiracy theory to
That's
that.
just
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
it's too obvious, though. That's too obvious.
The conspiracy theory is that he's going to propose to her, and then they're going to endorse Biden all in one sweep. That's a deep conspiracy theory.
That's heavy, man.
You know what? Let's leave that alone.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll leave it alone.
I don't want to try to analyze that one. That's for sure.
Well, here's one. I mean, she wears red lipstick minus 1,500. Any other color plus 600. I mean, yeah, I've never seen a but red lipstick.
It's got to be red. She wears red every game. Anybody got an opinion on the winning team? We're not going to know. Obviously we think we know the winning team, but the winning team's Gatorade color.
Well,
Everybody's
I
looking
did.
at that.
Hey, if I could chime in for a second.
Let's hear the numbers.
Yeah, but let's narrow it down. Who you think? What color it would be?
Well, that's what this is broken down. Yellow lime is plus 380. Purple is plus 380. Water clear plus 1,000. Grape plus 240. Blue plus 430. Red, pink plus 490. Throwing on the winning coach. Those are the numbers for that.
It's funny. I was watching the last two Super Bowls that Kansas City won. I saw orange, and I think purple.
Purple was
Right.
the last.
So
Yeah.
you never know. There's a little. If KC wins, they did orange. They did purple.
What's to stop the guy that's going to put the Gatorade into the?
I was just
orange
gonna say
jug
that, to make a big bet. Well, that's why they limit these bets.
From manipulating this whole thing.
That's why they limit
think
these
about
bets.
it for a second.
Come on, guys.
You got some guy that's. I mean, not to
Now
be
we're getting the Gatorade guy involved.
Well, what do you think? Andy Reid is putting the Gatorade into the jug?
No, but you think someone's going to leak it? It's probably done at the last second, once just before they're going on the field, or maybe even at halftime.
They have NFL officials like checking the guy, putting the
It
color
could
in.
be done at the very, very end.
I don't know, man. This is
Who? Okay, so this
Yeah,
leads
who
to a
makes
deeper
that
question.
decision?
Who
Yeah.
colors the Gatorade?
That's my point.
Well, it's not-
or do they have multiple jugs with every color and
Yeah,
they just
of
randomly
course.
take one?
Yeah, they have multiple colors.
Multiple colors.
Oh yeah, definitely. They, some guys like lime, some guys like orange, some guys like cherry. Purple,
I mean, listen.
whatever.
I hope nobody thinks of me differently. I hope you guys don't think of me differently.
oh,
but
boy.
if I was in charge of the Gatorade,
Oh.
I would make a bet on the Gatorade color.
There
That's
you go.
just my style.
Inside information.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
the
come
Gatorade.
on.
All right, let's get into the game itself. I know it's a huge game. I know everyone wants to hear our opinions, so we could try to help the audience out. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to start with the man, if he doesn't mind, Teddy Brooks. I know you mentioned your selection is going to be on this.
Yeah, it's
Super
going to be
Bowl
on
game.
San Fran. I'm going against the public. I'm going against the media. I'm going against the legend of Pat Mahomes. I think Brock Purdy could be
The sleeper?
I think Brock Purdy could become the Eli Manning to the
Right.
Mahomes, a.k.a. Tom Brady.
Right.
Eli Manning was the only guy to take that crown from Brady, and he did it twice.
Yep.
And I think that, and I bet the Giants both of those Super Bowls. And I think that Brock Purdy could be that guy.
All right, here it is, ladies and gentlemen.
He's going to have to show up. I mean, if he shows up, you got a shot. If not, it's all going to be all Mahomes.
It's going to you right now, Big Kahuna. Who's winning the Super Bowl?
Who's winning the Super Bowl? I'm going
Get right to the brass.
I'm going to go with the experience. They've been there before. I'm going with the Chiefs on the money line and the Chiefs on the point spread. But I like the under. That's my best bet. 47.5. But I would take the Chiefs on the money line to win it outright and take the points.
Scotty, you've been riding the Chiefs all playoffs, and you've been right so far. What do we got?
Well, I hate to say it, guys, but I'm going with San Francisco.
Wow.
on the
That's
money
what
line.
I like to hear. Let's go.
I'm going with San Fran.
Let's go, Scotty. Give me a little pound
I
for
don't
that
know,
one.
guys.
Yep, I'm going with Teddy. I like San Fran. I just think that, like I said, there's going to be something that upsets the apple cart, and it's going to be Sunday. The King is going down. I think San Francisco's got all the weapons in the world. I think they're going to come in right. Kyle Shanahan's a fantastic coach. He deserves to get a championship. He is as good as it gets. He's on that plateau of being one of the top coaches in the NFL. As great as Andy Reid is, and yes, he's going for his 3rd Super Bowl, and yes, he has the best quarterback in the NFL. We all know that at this point in time. But I just think it's going to be an effort, a group effort on the defense and the offensive side that's getting this victory. Yeah, it could be Purdy. Yeah, it could be McCaffrey. Could be Kittle. It could be Samuels. Could be a lot of people. But at the end of the day, I think the 49ers pull this game off. Money line it. You don't have to worry. They win by 1 or they win by 21. You get yourself paid. San Fran.
I love it. I love it. Do you have an opinion? Because I can't figure out the total at all. We have 1 vote for the under. Do you have an opinion on the total?
I can't because I just don't know how. In my opinion, these teams are so explosive if they do start clicking that it could be a shootout. One of those kind of games that could go back and forth. Like not that I compare 4 or 5 years ago to this Sunday, it was 31-21, different team, different quarterbacks, some different players. But I think this game has potential, like Tommy was saying, could be a very tight game. It could be a real defensive game. Turnovers play a key role in these games, and holding the opponent from inside the red zone, from field goals to touchdowns, there's a lot of variables. I just don't have enough to make a play on the total.
Well, here's an interesting one. So the total is at 47. Both team totals.
But I do see his point.
Yeah, absolutely. Both team totals, you can bet both teams over 21.5 points. They're both at around minus 150.
Which doesn't equal 47.
Which does not equal 47. So they could both score,
But that's how they mess with you.
It is.
They're always messing with you. You know that.
It is.
Who's they?
The line setters. They put a number out there. Listen, don't forget, we know the game inside and out. This is our business.
Right.
We look for things. We're trying to beat these spreads. We're trying to get that winning edge. At the end of the day, we know they put numbers out there just to get money moving back and forth. Sharp people go one way, public goes another way. You want to know where the sharps are going, guys. This line is drifting up. Yeah, it came down and now it's drifting up. Who's moving this number?
Well, if you want to break it down, sharps normally bet right as the number comes out. Where did the line go? KC's favor.
It went down.
Yeah, so you want to talk about sharps are not betting at this point. They've already made their bet.
Well, they could have been betting through the week, too.
But the sharps brought it down to 1.5, and then since it's bounced back up. But
all right, so let's just recap so the audience, because we're jumping kind of a little bit here. The big kahuna, ladies and gentlemen, all on Kansas City, money line and point spread.
And under.
And you wanted plus 2.5 and money line.
Yes,
Casey.
sir.
And he loves
the under as his favorite play.
As his best bet.
Yep.
My favorite plays, once again, I love your Pacheco over on the yardage. I love Brock Purdy MVP. I like the 49ers. I like Kyle Juszczyk over 4.5 receiving yards. I think all he has to do is catch one.
That's going to be a big odds.
And here's the thing about him. No, it's not. It's 120.
That's it? On 4.5 yards?
It's over under. It's an even line. And here's the thing. They're going to be guarding Kittle. They're going to be guarding Samuel. They're going to be guarding McCaffrey, especially if McCaffrey gets outside or goes for a pass. And this guy's
the same thing like Kelsey. They'll all be guarding him too, but they find.
But that's a difference. That's one of the reasons I like 49ers so much. The KC just doesn't have the weapons that they have in the past. No Tyreek Hill.
No, they got tons of weapons, Kate. No, San Fran, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I mean, they got an explosive team. If they come in with the right game plan, and I know Shanahan is probably going to put the best plan together, whether they execute or not, guys, but they're coming in. They're not scared of Kansas City, trust me. And Kansas City's not scared of anyone anyways. That's what makes this game so exciting, and it makes it so difficult for the average probably fan to bet the game because it's a really close game if you look offensively and defensively. Both these teams have great weapons.
And my last one, I forgot to mention, my reach prop is Christian McCaffrey, 2 touchdowns, plus 225. Real quick, Shanahan was talking, I was watching a video, and it was Lynch and the actual owner of the 49ers, and they said that even right after they got Trey Lance, Shanahan said he privately to the owner of the team,
He liked the
he
other
said,
kid.
He said, "Boss, I think our third string quarterback's our best quarterback." Kind of like that. Like,
I saw that.
I don't know what to do, but I think he's our best quarterback. And sure enough, he ended up starting that year.
Isn't it amazing how it just flew right into him like so quickly? Garoppolo gone, Lance gets hurt, he's out, and now they go to him, and now he's running the show.
And it's amazing because he knew it, and it's like when you know that, but you can't just bench this Lance that you just spent your first pick or second pick with, and you're spending all this money on. And
How do you think Trey Lance feels right now?
Yeah, well,
What happened with him? He's just injured, or did they move him?
I think he's
still on the
I don't
roster?
even know.
Yeah,
that's kind of sad. There was a lot of talk about him like going to Chicago, or Fields going somewhere else, but I don't think really much happened.
We didn't get into tickets and all that, but
we were. We're going to finish up.
Your boy Brock Purdy makes $870K a year. Not bad. One of the owner's suites is $950,000.
Yeah. I hear the ticket prices have been coming down since earlier in the week. Average ticket price like $6,500. It's now $5,200.
They're dubbing it as the get-in ticket, just to get in the door. I saw $8K is where it's at right now.
Yeah, no, I think it's been dropping a little bit.
Yeah,
I think they overinflated
These
it.
prices are all over the road here. I mean, you know, a 20-person suite is up to $1.8 million.
Yeah, but Ben told me before the show that he was taking us all on the jet and we were going to go out there as his guest. So, Brent, I hope that's true because we're ready to go.
Oh, it's getting fired up right now.
You got the gas at where are we going? Out of Boca or are we going out of Miami?
West Palm Beach, actually.
West Palm Beach.
I
love it.
I want what you're smoking, Ben.
Christian McCaffrey. I mean, Travis Kelce isn't the only player in this game with a famous girlfriend.
No, he's married.
Christian McCaffrey.
Married to her.
Is he married
the
to
actress,
her? To
yes.
Olivia Dunn.
Yeah.
So she bought that family, the McCaffrey and her family, a 2-point right after Lisa McCaffrey, Christian's mom. I think that's her name, Lisa.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Ed McCaffrey's wife.
Right.
Look, I just got an alert on my phone. Donna Kelce says pricey suites means she'll likely be in the stands for the Super Bowl. So I don't understand this. You got all these millions and these people try to I don't know. But anyway, Olivia Dunn bought the McCaffrey family a suite, $2.5 million suite. A lot of
crazy.
It really is.
For a football game. I mean, it's nice to rub elbows with the powerful people out there and be in Vegas. But at the end of the day, it's going to be such a shit show, sorry to say it like that, out in Vegas. I mean, you're just going to be...
Yeah, we spoke...
Obviously, you got to spend the big money.
We spoke to some locals that live out there, and these are substantial people. They're saying it is going to be a shit show. They're staying clear of that. They're going to house parties because they said they want nothing to do with it. Because it's just going to be one.
We actually got a good friend of ours that's going to Dana White's. Dana White's house for his Super Bowl party. It's pretty cool.
Right from the source, they're saying locals are staying away from that whole mess. It's just going to be crazy.
I think we touched base on this Super Bowl. I think we teared it up pretty good, guys. We hit it from every angle, from the props to the selections on the game, the total. Anything else you guys want to talk about outside of the Super Bowl before we call it a day?
Yeah, I mean, this is not football related at all.
Right.
But I'm a little tired today. I was up until 2 o'clock in the morning. Have you guys ever heard of Theo Von?
Theo Von? No.
He's a comedian who started podcasting. He has a really popular podcast. And Trevor Bauer was on his podcast.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
And I watched this podcast last night. It was a 2.5-hour show. And if anyone out there is watching, you got to watch this because, this guy got accused of some stuff he never did.
Yep. Took his career right down.
Took his career down. He's playing in Japan now. He's trying to get back in the MLB. But it goes beyond that because this guy focused so much on baseball that he had no social life. He says right on the show, he had no friends in high school, barely any friends in college, still doesn't really have friends now. He said he has some buddies that he plays with and people he was on teams with. This guy had no friends. And now he's not getting a
sounds like Tommy at the Super Bowl party last year. He had no friends. They threw him out before he walked in.
Not many people stood up for me.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
Maybe we can hook him up with Trevor.
Yeah, it was just I recommend watching this episode to really get into the mind of what an elite pitcher.
Oh yeah, he was dynamite.
He was very smart. He was in AP classes, and he used his physics class. He used physics to help himself pitch better. It was really interesting.
Mind
stuff.
over matter, as they call it, right? Mind over matter.
One thing I want to just mention, World Cup is coming to Miami. They're going to have 7 matches down here.
I know. My wife wants...
2026.
My wife's Colombian. She wants me to get tickets.
Well, you start getting them now, man. 'Cause that's going to be crazy.
Yeah. So that's something I'll probably be going...
2026.
And the championship game is at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey.
We haven't had a World Cup here since, I think, the late 90s in the U.S. So, I mean, I'm into soccer, and but that's going to be big. 7 matches down here in Miami.
And you do release soccer. I mean, I'm not a soccer guy, but you do release picks out to guys.
I do soccer, and I'm going to be doing more soccer content. Soccer is a great betting sport, guys, and a lot of people, a lot of Americans don't understand soccer, but big money is made on European soccer. And there's a lot of opportunities in soccer. We should bring on a soccer expert to break down.
Let's bring Messi on the show.
Well, yeah, see if we
think
can get him.
You think you can get him, Big Kahuna?
We could get him. I don't know. I mean, if we have, I don't think he speaks English.
Oh, that's
number
true.
one, so we'd have to have a translator.
That's right. We'll get it. Ben will find us a translator.
Ben, do you speak fluent Spanish? So, yeah, we would need a translator. But no, soccer can be very profitable. Very profitable.
My business partner's cousin does his pool.
Oh, there
Seriously.
You go. So you're
He's at his house every week.
That's
You're
our
right
angle
there.
right there.
He's at his house every single week.
Does he see him?
I don't think he's ever
probably
seen
never
him.
there.
No.
All right, guys. It was great. I tell you, I had a fun show. I really
No,
did.
it was a
I
great
enjoyed
show.
this one. I really
Yeah.
did.
I wish every week was a Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It was a great season. I can only speak for myself and the guys here. We put out a lot of information to you guys this year. I hope you enjoyed what we did during football. We're going to come back bigger and better than ever starting next week, and we're expanding our show to a couple additional shows in the near future. We'll let you know, obviously, through all our social media, information. Matter of fact, Big Kahuna, if you could tell everyone where they could find you, because you're putting up free stuff and things daily, where people can get a hold of you.
By all means, Instagram, put up at least 2 videos a day, free picks, OSB_sports. My YouTube, OSB-sports. And the website, onlinesportsbet.com, has a lot of good stuff up there daily.
And just tell me where you're going for the Super Bowl this year, because I want to have a camera following you when you try to enter in.
I'm looking at maybe...
You having a party this year, Big Kahuna?
I'm personally not having one. I have a couple of invites.
How about,
Keep the dog at home.
how about Kiki on the River, maybe in Miami?
Maybe...
Isn't that a strip club?
No, it's a nice... No strip. You guys are getting a little out of control today, I'll tell you.
I'll tell you, I've been going to a place down here. They have a few around the country. I'll shout out Twin Peaks. Good
there you
food, good atmosphere.
Good atmosphere.
Good atmosphere, let me tell you. Yeah.
I think it's more about the atmosphere, Ben, than the food.
I don't want.
So I have a funny story about Twin Peaks.
I don't go any further, but they have a very interesting staff there, if you know what I mean.
That's it.
I have a funny story about Twin Peaks.
All nations. All nations.
Hey, listen.
We love it.
I spent a couple years in Colorado. This was before there were any Twin Peaks in Florida.
Right.
So we're driving through Colorado and we're hungry, and I see Twin Peaks. And I'm like, oh, it's called Twin Peaks because we're in Colorado and there's mountains here.
Right.
And then I got inside and I realized why it's actually called Twin Peaks.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that's why it's called Twin Peaks.
They got some talent in
It
there.
has nothing to do with the mountains that we're in right now. So I thought it was just like a mountain name, but it wasn't. So, but yeah, we did crush it this year in football, guys. We really, if you go back episode by episode and you tally, especially the games we agreed on, and you tally those games
Pretty
up,
good, right?
you're going to find a good percentage. I don't know the exact number,
winning percentage,
but
for
you're going to
sure.
find a winning, profitable percentage on those games. And one more thing. With those old shows we were doing in football season, you had multiple days to watch them. With these new episodes we're going to be doing, you got to watch it, like, as soon as it gets posted. So whether you're watching Tommy's channel, Scotty's channel, or my channel, turn your notifications on for that channel.
All right. Speaking of that, notify the people where they can find you each and every day, because you are doing your thing and they want us to be a part of it. By the way, how you been doing with the free stuff? You were hot as...
We're still so tallying up, we're 40-19 in the last 59 games.
Wow.
Kicking ass, man.
So we have leveled out a little bit, but we're still kicking ass. You could find us youtube.com/@thesportsprophets, Instagram _profits_pick. TikTok is under construction. They took our link away.
Wow.
Because
boy.
we have to send them. They're making. I don't know if they do this with you. They're making me send them documentation proving that we're a real company, and so I got to send that to them because they took our link off the. They won't let me post the link, so I've been pausing on that.
You're
Right
getting
now.
too big, Teddy.
Not big enough on there. Not like you.
Guys, I really appreciate it. It's been a fantastic season with the football. We're really jacked up about the future of the show and all the things that we're going to be coming. As I mentioned earlier, if you guys have any comments, good comments, obviously, on things that you might want us to do or segments and things like that, DM Teddy, DM me, DM Tommy. Let us know some suggestions. We'd love to bring you things that'll keep you guys, in tune.
Good or bad? Let's hear both sides.
Well, of course, they might say the host, sucks. Or
Well,
whatever.
listen. I mean, bring it on.
Let's do it. All right,
Yeah.
guys. I am Scott Matthews. I am the host of this great show, the OSB Sports Podcast Show. And you can find me each and every day putting out free stuff on my TikTok at SMPicks, PICKS, and also on Instagram at SM Sports Picks, PICKS. Like I said, what a great show. We're looking forward to the Super Bowl. We're looking forward to the future. Check out our show each and every week. It's on all podcast forums. Can't make it any easier. Ben works hard putting this show together for us. Great producer, Ben. We appreciate you, obviously. Great run with us this year in football. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. Check it all out. And guess what? We'll be back next week.
That's why real quick. That's why Ben got that new Rolex, just sitting there producing our show, taking all our picks. So
I think so. I think Ben's living.
You're welcome, Ben.
He's living the dream, man. Kudos, Ben. We'll see you next week.
Good show.
All right, excellent show, guys. Really good.
Don't